Woo, boy. Let me see. I remember one time, it's back in junior high school. Yeah, probably middle school, like around sixth grade or something, right? And I remember the first time, because like I was saying before, played football, basketball. So like out in the yard during recess, before school sometimes, after school sometimes, play football and stuff in the yard. So we had these because I was always a fairly bigger dude, but we had these other dudes, couple guys. They were actually taller than me and everything. And you know how sometimes it is with bullies, one feeds off of the other one, right? So I remember it was just like constant over and over and over again. Something after another, something after another, something after another. Just talking, oh no, you can't play. No, you ain't playing with us. You such and such, such, such. And of course, when I started playing and showing I had skills with certain stuff, then it was like okay. And I remember the one day when I had just got fed up with it, right? And so Bo was talking ish, and he went and threw the football at me, right? So I picked the football up and I threw it back at him and hit him in his head. Now, to his credit, he did come back and hit me in my head, right? And then so I kind of squared up, but you know what I'm saying? I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but I squared up, and then that was that. I can't remember what happened after that. As far as I think I might have got hit by somebody else. Can't remember what it was, but the whole point was that I was able to get respect after that because it was like, I guess he felt like I was just never going to do anything to kind of defend myself, right? But that's not the kind of coward I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is when you're in a situation where there are things you can do for yourself and you choose not to do them. Times that you could speak up for yourself and you choose not to. Like I always say, like me growing up, I grew up as a very crew or group oriented kind of guy, not being one of those a singular kind of guy where it's like, oh no, it's all about me. Yeah, I mean, if they catch up, no, no. If we all roll together, we all together. Because that was like one big thing for me was all about bringing people together, right? So a lot of times as far as with my voice, I had no problems, taking the back seat, side seat, because I always said, hey, I'm me. So it's not that big of a deal. You get what I'm saying? I'm me. And so what happens is, unfortunately, when you wind up putting yourself in the back seat too many times, people feel like that's where you're supposed to be. All right. You don't, it's almost like you got to kind of show people why you deserve to be in the driver's seat. You almost have to, I don't want to say impress people, but let them know that, hey, look, my value is way up here. And now you get in the back seat. But even when I did feel like my value was a little higher, maybe nicer car, nicer clothes, whatever, I still, humbled myself and, was like, hey, look, because we're a crew, these are my guys. And this is less about anybody else, but more about me. When you'll hear people talk about it sometimes where they say finding their voice. And that happens with a lot of us where, when you're younger, you just kind of like want to fit in. You want to be cool. You want to, certain stuff. And you wind up really not expressing yourself or putting yourself in a position of power because you have deferred to somebody else too many times in life, and of course for me, it's like directed to nobody in particular but me because you can only defer as much as you allow people to allow you to defer, right? Or allow yourself to defer. That's not up to anybody else. Nobody can go and say to you, hey, yo, man, listen, I want you to not say nothing, all right? And say, like, as a grown man or woman, like, no. You're going to say what you want to say. But like I said, sometimes just keep cohesion with people in life. You kind of like coworkers, because that's a great place to start. A lot of times, you just be like, hey, look, you know what I mean? I don't want any problems. I don't want any smoke. I don't want nothing going on. Ain't nobody, it ain't like this is going to become physical or anything. But as far as just how, I'm perceived, how I'm looked at. So I'll give you another situation, another scenario. So there have been times before when it was certain situations, and I had to learn from this, and that's why it didn't really happen to me later on with job experiences. But where a friend and I, or somebody that I work with that we were cool with, we say, hey, look, we all know that this position coming up, right? And so what it is that, look, until they offer us more money, this is what we're going to do. Neither one of us are going to take the position. We're going to just chill. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And, for a period of time, it seemed like we were all standing on that. And then what happens? Come back to work one day. Yeah. So I say, well, did somebody take that position? Did somebody do? Oh, yeah. Such and such took the position. Yeah, they're going to be doing it such that they negotiated it. And I remember sitting thinking to myself, like, damn, dog, damn, like, why was I feeling any type of loyalty? You know what I mean? And I had been there longer than the person, so I probably deserved a position more than they did. But it was an eye-opening experience because that had never. Once again, I was in my 20s still, so that had never happened to me before, where I was in a situation to where I felt like I was standing with somebody, and they knew what the situation was, but then they changed up on me, right? But it happened. And, I think I said something to him or whatever, and good luck. And I still kind of went with the flow. Now, I did wind up getting actually a better position than that. But it was just that at that time, like it felt crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? It felt like, dad, why would you do something like that? But anyway, other times, have you ever been in a situation where, that you should speak up, you should say certain things, because that's kind of like, it can be a delicate dance because sometimes you kind of don't want to say things because, it could not hurt somebody's feelings, but it could turn stuff sideways. So you don't want to. So, and there's been plenty of those times, and I'm sure it's been other people. And as I get older, what I start to realize that some people, they really don't care what they say to you. They don't care how they say it to you, right? So even sometimes with friends, and they bring certain things up, and it's still on you to decide what type of person you are. Like how they always say, nice people finish last, right? And in my estimation, it's not that I feel like nice people finish last, but I feel like nice people take a lot of ish. Nice people take a lot of stuff where, you kind of get tired of being nice. But the crazy part about it is that because you are a nice person, it's just in you. So you can't now turn into this tyrant, right? You can't just now turn into this person that's like, you know what, go to hell, because that's not what's in you. That's not how you were brought up. That's not how you were bred, right? But the one thing you could do is that you can find your voice, and you can say it, and you can do it in a really nice way as a nice person. Hey, can you? No, I can't, because I'm trying to think about the last 3 times I asked you to do something, you were unable to do it. But I still love you. Still got love for you, right? Yeah. Can you take me to the? You know what? Not going to be able to do it today because I'm such and such. Whereas once upon a time, for any of my friends, I would have broken my neck to do certain things. And even still today, some of them I still will. But it has to be reciprocated. And we have to all learn that it has to be reciprocated. What you do when the reciprocity doesn't come back your way, you start feeling like a coward. You start feeling like, well, dad, you know what? I did all of these things for people, although you don't want to count because we don't want to count favors, right? But, when it comes back time for them to do something for me, like there's always an issue, or too many times there's an issue, when in reality, it really shouldn't be an issue, right? So if you're one of those people out there, you feel like that, you feel like, hey, look, and some of you out there just don't care. And I know some of y'all, right? But, if you're one of those kind of people, Yeah, just find your voice and say, hey, listen, nah, no, dog, not me, not today. And sit down with people and tell them, look, this is the way I would like to be treated. Okay, as a friend, this is the way I would like to be treated. All right. Last thing, and I had to learn how to stop doing this too. You know, don't be a because I've done it before, so I never talk about stuff that I've never done before. You know what I mean? Don't be a text coward, right? Don't be a text coward. Now, if somebody texts you and you respond in a text, that's fine, right? But or if that's the way you're communicating, that's fine, right? But if you got something to say, if there's something really important going on, get a person a call. Get a person a call. How many times have you received? Because I was talking about this with somebody a few days ago. How is it that it could be something severe going on, and somebody they're texting you, right? No. Pick up a phone. Call. I've said that to other people before. Like, don't be a text coward. That's what I call a text coward. You know what I mean? No, if it's something important, call me, right? Because if it's something really grave or anything, I need to call you, right? Have good methods of communications. So yeah, so if you haven't out there already, hey, when you get a chance, find your voice. If you're a nice person, it ain't gonna all come out like, but it needs to start coming out. Find your voice. Don't be a coward like I was. But until next time, live life. Don't let life live you.